This party is sick. Dude, bro, this party is sick. Dude, bro, this party is sick. Dude, bro, this party is sick. Dude, this party has like 5 different kinds of nachos. Whoa, that's off the hook crazy. 5 different nachos. 5 different nachos. 5 different nachos. 5 different nachos. Last train to Awesome Town. Come on, everybody, won't you party with me now? Last train to Awesome Town. Come on, won't you party with me? Do. Last train to Awesome Town. The roof is on fire, gonna burn it to the ground. Yeah. Last train to Awesome Town. Come on, won't you party with me? Party with me. Party with me. Party with me. Party with me. 5 different nachos.
All right, you are listening to the Nerd Edification Hour on Alternation Radio. Today is a very interesting show. We're going to start off. We have Jeremy here as well as Rachel.
Hello.
She's here. And of course, I'm Caleb. If I didn't, what's that? Nothing much. Jeremy, I don't know. I don't think, is your mic working?
How's that?
Much better.
Okay.
Thank you. So, we have your nerd vocab as always in the show, and then we have some Sony news, which, and then we have Majora's Mask for the 3DS rumor, and also some Studio Ghibli news, as well as Battlefield.
Studio Ghibli.
And then we also have a little bit of Hyrule Warriors once we get down to it. All this and more on the Nerd Edification Hour today. If I can... all right, so, Jeremy, how's it going?
Doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Just been kind of getting stuff done with school and working on the site some more.
That's right, the ZenPath website. Isn't that?
ZenPath?
Yep, ZenPath.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, add the S. You gotta add the S to it. So, let's see, what do we want to talk about first? So, Rachel, how about that Final Fantasy typo translation? You're all about that.
Oh my god.
You're all about that.
Oh my god. Okay, so basically, some fans are considering this situation to be a nightmare. Final Fantasy Typo was originally released on PSP in Japan in 2011, and it has gameplay similar to Crisis Core. You accept missions, you go through the little battle menu. It's not your typical Final Fantasy game, but it's better than the 13 saga, which is saying a lot.
Yeah.
But so for a long time, fans have been wanting it to be localized for the West because it was a Japanese exclusive. So after a while, this group of fans was like, hey, I speak Japanese. Hey, I know a lot about coding. Hey, I know how to do subtitles. Let's do a fan translation. So they got this group together and they had a website up and all that jazz, and they started working on it. So throughout all this time, they've been in contact with Square Enix. They actually got like a kind of sort of permission because at the time, Square Enix didn't have any plans to localize it for the West.
Right.
They wanted to, but they didn't have any plans. They were like, okay, here, sign this non-disclosure agreement and do it. Whatever. We wish you luck. And so they've been working on it for over a year, 2 years. I'm not exactly sure how long a time
long
span.
time.
Pretty long time. And it released 2.5 weeks before E3. And the head of the fan translation, the guy, he goes by the handle Skyblade Cloud. He's the project lead. He was like, I'm gonna release it, and he just totally went over the heads of all the other people on the team and was like, let's release it. It's good enough. He thought it was good enough back in February, but he waited. Is there
good enough for a translation thing? Because wouldn't there be some things left out?
There's certain things that they wanted to tweak to make it almost perfect to be an extremely playable game. It was already playable, but there were certain glitches and stuff that they had to fix. Because when you're adding subtitles in and stuff like that, there's all sorts of things that can go wrong. And so basically the project lead was like, hey, let's release it. So fans got it. They played it they downloaded it onto a modulator on their computer, like a PSP emulator or whatever. Or they downloaded the ROM onto a hacked PSP, et cetera, and they got to play it. And then 2.5 weeks later, Square Enix is like, hey, guess what? We're going to release Final Fantasy Typo in superpowered HD on the Xbox One and the PS4.
Surprise.
This had
Happy birthday.
Exactly. This had nothing to do with the fan translation coming out. Nothing to do at all.
Right.
Nothing at all. And, you'd think, hindsight, you kind of did Skyblade Cloud know anything about it and just wanted to do it, spitefully? Here, I'm going to release it. La!
Maybe.
But there wasn't anything about that either.
All those conspiracies and whatnot.
He probably didn't know that much about what Square Enix, what their development is.
Of course not. Of course not. It's what is it?
It's a thing?
It's a thing. And so basically now that they have a plans to do localization and all that kind of stuff, they legally had no choice to send them a cease and desist order.
Well, yeah, because technically I guess it's illegal or copyright and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's a copyright thing.
It's one of those things where if they don't actively defend their copyright, it then becomes up for people can use it as an example if they allow it to do something later on. If they want to do some fan translation or modification of a game later and just be like, hey, you let us do it here, we should be able to do it in this one. And they can use that in a case against them. So it kind of ends up becoming that.
Yeah. And so with this whole hullabaloo happening, fans got mad that the translation had been taken down and they don't get to play it, et cetera, et cetera. And everyone was mad at Square Enix. There's no reason for you to be mad at them. They had to do what they had to do. There was no malicious intent, and and because of the cease and desist thing, Skyblade Cloud was forced to take down not only the ROM that was there, but the patch and any post associated on the site itself that they were running to distribute it down. They had to take everything down. And he kind of posted something a little malicious. It seems that some game blah, blah, blah game companies think that, and very, very just bad way of doing it. And it made it seem like they had threatened him. No. Apparently he doesn't understand legal language.
A cease and desist, it can be viewed as a threat if he decides not to cease and desist.
Exactly. But
it's more of a warning shot.
I can see where he's coming from, though, because, all that hard work for all those years and, all of a sudden, Sony's like, hey, look what we got.
Well, Square Enix.
And
but even at the end of the day, though, it's still Square Enix's property.
Exactly.
Right.
They let them mess around with it and do stuff with it, but it's up to Square Enix if they decide, hey, we want to release it and actually make money off of this on this new version we're doing, instead of just giving out a free version that people are downloading because they're not making anything off of that.
Exactly. See, that's the thing. These people who did this translation knew exactly what they were getting into when they started it. They knew exactly what they were getting into.
And you brought up a good example earlier of the Mother 3.
Yes.
Where that's one where Nintendo has no plans and no means to bring it over to the United States right now or translate it. They're fully aware of the fan translation. The people over at, was it star.net or something like that?
Yeah.
They've sent everything over to Nintendo. They're fully aware of what's going on. They've released it, and we've actually had some of the guys on our site who actually streamed the entire game and played it. Mm-hmm. And Nintendo's fine with it, but they also acknowledge on the site, the day Nintendo decides to sell it in the U.S., we'll pull everything down. It's theirs. If they decide to bring it over, we're done. We're packing it up and leaving.
I mean, if anything, and I don't think Square would do this or Nintendo would do this, but if they want the translation that's already been done, if they want to use what's been done there so there's less work for them to do so the fans can get an actual version sooner, I mean, they'd of course have to ask the people who designed the translation, but if anything, that would make it come out quicker. So that was also another argument that fans made. Well, they're just going to use the fan translations team's work and take credit for it.
They won't.
They won't. No, they won't.
Because there's going to be nuances or particular references that they're going to have to change or what they're going to use.
Because I don't think a lot of fans understand what all that has to go into a localization. There's certain things that need to be taken out that American audiences, even European audiences, might not understand, and it doesn't really translate
Cultural
well.
references.
It's a cultural thing. Like I think what was it? The word gymnasium. I tried to explain the word gymnasium to an exchange student when I was at Moseley. He just didn't understand. He had no idea. There was no word for it. And so there's certain things that don't translate back and forth. So they have to go through a lot to actually get it to work, especially with if there's, mouth movements like in typo, they have to get it to match. So they essentially have to rewrite an entire script almost.
Yeah, I mean, for like Animal Crossing, Tamagotchi Life, I remember when those got translated, there's huge parts of them that had to be changed over because, like, for Animal Crossing alone, different holidays for different countries, which meant different dates, different activities. Even just the items you put in your house, there's a lot of Japanese-specific stuff and American-specific stuff that don't cross over very well.
Right. All this stuff. So, drama.
Exactly. It's a lot of drama. But really, honestly, the people who got the English patch for the ROM already have it. They've already played it. They've already enjoyed it. They probably played the Japanese version when it first was, sent out onto the internet to download.
Yeah, it's on the internet. It's not going to go away.
Exactly.
He should be happy his work's out there. I mean,
right.
He's at least able to do it.
Exactly. So the people who have wanted it already got it. And the people who are going to want it for the PS4 and the Xbox One will get it because they're Final Fantasy fans. I didn't have a problem with this whole fan translation fiasco because I didn't download the game, I didn't download the patch, because I had a gut feeling that because of how the gameplay was and because of the rise in popularity of RPGs again, that they were probably going to release it eventually. So I guess I had that foresight. Lucky me. Some people didn't. But the important thing is, don't freak out about the littlest things. I mean, it's really not that big a deal, guys. It's not important.
Yep, not that big. Calm your titties.
Yeah. Hakuna Yotatas.
Hakuna Matata. Oh my gosh. So, next up, we'll have some Nintendo news for you. Two bits of Nintendo news actually. And the next song, the song we're going to play is Golden Rays
by Martin Relinsky.
By that one. Yes, exactly. And we'll be right back. You're listening to the Nerdification Hour on Alternation Radio.
What we are, we're the golden rays of summer rain. You and I were made to fly into what we hold inside, high beyond the molten sky. I swear that we won't be denied. Let us find the hidden path. We can find our secret room, far from all the hollow laugh that echoes only doom and gloom. Lose a fool is what they're saying. It's all a masquerade. I won't let you down. Let's fall into a deeper groove. I will never leave your side. Love like this is meant to be. My heart's always open wide. You're my truth, my destiny. Lose a fool is what they're saying. It's all a masquerade, and I won't let you down. Won't be long, the golden rays of summer rain. We will never let them pull us down. We're too strong. This is where we have to draw the line. We golden rays of summer rain.
You're listening to the Nerd Edification Hour on Alternation Radio. We have some Nintendo/Zelda news. That's pretty much what it is.
Well, Zelda's Nintendo.
All the Zeldas.
All the Nintendo
Zeldas
stuff.
So before I left the house today, before we move on to the big thing, before I left the house, there was a trailer that showed off some of the Hyrule Warriors characters, some new characters for that. And one of the new characters is Princess Ruto and the Chief Goron from Ocarina of Time, whose name I can't remember because he wasn't in the game for that long.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And also, I mean, they I saw some screenshot of like a Japanese magazine and had Sheik on there, like a huge blow up of Sheik, and I was like, they're just putting all the Ocarina of Time people in there.
Yeah.
That's what they're
There's
doing.
about
Sheik
10
is in there.
characters confirmed now so far.
Yeah, so this is a typical Dynasty Warriors sort of thing. Add all the characters. Add a ridiculous amount of characters.
There are a ridiculous amount already. And the stunning thing about Princess Ruto, she has clothes.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, sort of clothes. They're
mean,
fins, but, you know, it's kind of like...
I mean, I guess they kind of had to.
She's
always been kind of the way they've been designed.
Yeah.
They started adding different kinds of clothes to the different Zoras as they went along. Because I think a lot of the designs they've been pulling the most from seems to be from Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
I really
did have
liked that
specific,
game design.
art designs.
I really liked that game design. I did.
I did
it was
too.
dark, and I liked it.
Yeah, a lot of people complain about it. Which
I liked it dark.
I liked Twilight Princess. But
I like the new Zelda Wii U thing that they showed at E3. The thing I noticed most was they used a similar color palette from Skyward Sword, but they used the like the texture, like the shadowing, and just how the characters were designed look wise from Twilight Princess. So they took the two best things from those two games about like how it looked and are making it into that, which is going to be great. And I'm going to have to get a Wii U before it comes out.
Already got mine.
You hush your mouth.
No.
Yes.
I got mine, so...
Well, I know whose houses I'm going to
Yep.
get my Hyrule Warrior fix.
That's fine. I already
Which
got
is-
mine paid for, too.
Yeah, and they even... Link has a ball and chain and the digging gloves, like, put together in one item.
Yeah, it's the...
So he's like...
The gauntlet, the strength gauntlets.
Strength gauntlets, that's
Yeah,
it.
That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
That's a lot
Two
of stuff.
things, like he pulls a giant, the giant black pillar.
Because you had to
from
have those
Ocarina of
gauntlets
Time.
to use the ball and chain, and then the pillar is from Ocarina of Time. You'd have to actually grab that, pick it up, and throw it to get through Ganon's castle.
Yep.
So now you can just beat people with it.
Yeah. Actually, he picks it up from the ground, just swings it all over the place. I'm like, what?
Yeah, so
It's insane.
a lot of. I expect there's going to be even more Hyrule Warrior stuff. Oh, do you have the
It's
name?
Darunia.
definitely.
Darunia.
Darunia.
Darunia. Okay.
That was the Goron chief.
I knew it started with a D.
Yay, Wi-Fi.
There you go.
Yes.
There you
And
go.
speaking of Zelda news, this is pretty exciting. As
But wait,
What?
sorry, just one thing I want to
There's
add.
another
before,
addition?
Before we move on from the Hyrule Warriors,
Yeah,
the
I had a little bit on that
Cuckoos,
too.
oh the
Cuckoos.
the weird.
the chickens.
Well, the chickens, the Skulltulas, they're in there. There's 100 of them on the field to find.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then in regards to Sheik, she actually uses the harp as one of her weapons
That's
as
amazing.
well
Right.
as the knives.
That's great.
So
I like that.
It's a little bit different on there.
Well,
In the trailer,
so basically the chickens are going to be in there.
in
We're
the
all gonna
trailer,
die.
yes, in the trailer there was the new chick, whatever, who's using magic. She's blue or whatever.
Does she
Yeah,
throw
she's-
chickens at people?
No,
she's
there-
one of the original characters.
Yeah, there was a portal, and the chickens just 100 chickens start
Just
coming out
come
of the portal.
Oh, so it's like a chicken attack. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, evil. I love it.
It's like
Okay.
Cuckoos. You can see where they're going with this.
Oh my gosh.
And the Hyrule Warriors.
Oh,
The
right.
most violent death
It's
ever.
going to be terrible.
Great. It's like, who wants to play Hyrule Warrior Cuckoo Dodgeball?
If you're not afraid of chickens now, you will
Death
be.
chicken cannon. So, yeah.
Chicken cannon.
The
Yeah.
No.
That reminds me of Mythbusters.
God.
Reverse that, and you've got one of the guns from, what was it, Lego City Undercover?
Oh,
You would literally
God.
turn a chicken around and squeeze it and shoot eggs. I love that gun.
It's like Banjo-Kazooie.
Oh, God. Okay, well, here's the big news.
Yes, big news. Really big news.
Okay, do you guys remember a few years ago where
No.
they had that, like, kind of quote-unquote tech demo that appeared suddenly on the internet?
The CG
having
video
about
that
the-
someone put out.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
Majora's
Yeah.
Mask, and nobody claimed it. Well, and that, kind of instilled an excitement.
Is-
The
Excitement?
people came forward on that one.
Oh, finally.
It was one of those things, they put the video out, and even now, the graphical quality and everything they had in that, like a PS4 and Xbox One, you couldn't do that.
Exactly.
It was just like, look, this is what's going to be coming out. And we're like, no.
No.
It's pretty, but
Yeah.
no.
But, like, anyway, so it got people really excited for maybe a potential Majora's Mask remake. So, it started in a Target in Canada.
Yeah.
So,
Canada?
Yeah, so
Hey.
pretty much at Target and any sort of grocery store or just store in general, they have these price gun things, and that's how basically they set up what's called a planogram to put up things. So they're scanning this thing, and they notice inside there that they it says Legend of Zelda M.
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 Lay M.
Do we know what any other Legend of Zelda game has an M in it?
Musical Zelda Symphony? I don't know.
I don't know.
No.
No, it's just
Okay. I'm
Majora's Mask.
Majora.
No, there's none of them.
There's none of
No.
them. So people were just like, it's got to be Majora's Mask. And it says 3DS. And so after this, it started popping up at Targets everywhere. So Nintendo's at Comic-Con this week, and they said we have a few surprises in store. Does that mean Majora's Mask? Who knows?
Who knows?
Will it show up at the Tokyo Game Show in September? Who knows? But this is a little thing that's floating around the internet, and it's the pictures that the employees took are not photoshopped. They've been analyzed and everything. So who knows what it's going to be? But it's a little excitement for us, for those who have wanted to play Majora's Mask again.
In HD on the 3DS.
Exactly. Or
Ever since Ocarina of
So
Time
it wouldn't really
3D.
be HD, but
no, it's just
Well,
it would kind of make sense because the history of Majora's Mask, it was actually made as a challenge.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like
Made in
if
a
you've
year.
got 1 year to make me a Zelda game to see if you're able to do it. So they took the engine and a lot of the stuff from Ocarina of Time, redid it, and that's how they ended up making Majora's Mask. Now that they've redone all that work over on the 3DS, they can take the exact same process and do it over. This time, maybe they'll remember to change the names on the signs so they don't point to the wrong places half the time. But or maybe they'll leave it. They left all the glitches in Ocarina of Time on
well,
purpose.
they
Why not?
they did say about Ocarina of Time that they did keep the glitches because they wanted people to have the same experience.
And the speed runs.
Exactly.
And this- hit, hit,
So,
hot, hit, hit,
so
hit.
it stands to reason that they'll do it for this one too.
Yeah, I mean, Majora's Mask for the 3DS makes a lot of sense. It was a really good game. It lended itself well to being a portable title because you had the shorter time periods of the 3 days.
Yes.
So you could very easily be in there and playing it. It's hands down probably one of the darkest Zeldas
Definitely
they
the
made.
darkest.
The only one that's
There's
really
a theory that it's like about Link dying and stuff.
the stages of death. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only one I've seen that really goes in kind of that darker direction, ironically, is Wind Waker.
Wind Waker did
Towards
get
the
pretty
end,
dark.
gets really dark.
Oh.
Well, I mean, at some point, Skyward Sword was pretty dark. At some points,
At some
Giraham was
point.
really creepy.
Yeah.
really, really creepy.
More
With
creepy
the-
than dark.
with
yeah.
the tongue.
Yeah.
With the
And we
tongue
get to kill him in
thing.
Hyrule
Yeah,
Warrior.
Blah, blah.
Yeah, that was kind of gross. But I mean, if anything, Skyward Sword was hilariously funny because Boomerang Brow. That's all I'm saying. That's all I need to say.
Oh,
Lord.
goodness.
But yeah, so there's any more Nintendo news?
Yep, we'll
that you can think
definitely
of?
let you know. Nope.
Yep.
That's
no,
about
that's
it.
about it. Just all
No.
Zelda today, guys.
Well, Zelda.
Yeah, mostly just Zelda stuff. There hasn't been too much of the Nintendo stuff. I mean, I've written some articles lately, but nothing really particular for this.
It's a bit of a slow news week. What can we say?
What can we do?
What can we do? So next up, we're going to talk about pirates, as well as have our wow, how to has words. We will have our nerd vocab,
Yes.
and then we'll talk about pirates.
Exactly.
Not that they have anything to do with each other.
Not at all.
Not this week.
Well, I mean, there could be a pirates kind of game like this.
Oh no. I would. Yeah.
I'd like one like it.
Oh well. There you go. The next song is actually one of the intros from a anime called Fairy Tail, Toa no Kazuma.
Don't look at me.
I don't
you didn't
know.
give me the title list.
I know. Well, anyways, here it is. You're listening to the Nerd Edification Hour on Alternation Radio. You are listening. Oh, okay.
Hey,
What's
what?
up?
Do not interrupt me.
How's it going?
We are back on the Nerd Edification Hour here on Alternation Radio. I'm Rachel, and I have with me Caleb and Jeremy.
Hello.
Hello.
So we're going to give you guys our nerd vocab.
Nerd vocab.
So, Caleb, tell us what a MOBA is.
What is a MOBA? It is not a slug.
No.
No, it's not a slug. So it is a multiplayer online battle arena. That's what it stands for. It is also known as a real-time strategy or ARTS. It's all artsy. You know,
Action real-time
sometimes
strategy.
Action
real-time strategy, that one. Whatever. All right. So it originated as a subgenre of the real-time strategy genre of video games, in which a player controls a single character in one of two teams, and they're in an arena and they break stuff like towers. And if you ever heard of League of Legends, that's what that is. Which, speaking of League of Legends, was it Dota?
Mm-hmm.
Dota 2.
Dota 2. Two things about Dota 2. It ended up on ESPN2. Actually,
Yep.
It was broadcasted live. So
Because it is a competition, and now professional video games is technically considered a sport.
apparently, technically, and somebody won like $5 million, something like that.
Yeah, so this team is now a bunch of millionaires.
There you go. So whoever said playing video games would never get you anywhere?
Exactly.
Ta-da! So moving on, that's our nerd vocab. Anything you guys want to add?
One little fun thing you were talking about, it comes from the action real-time strategy. The MOBAs originally started as a mod for one of the older Warcrafts. So it actually came directly out of real-time strategy games. So
The more you know.
Yeah.
There you go.
This new game from Marvel is going to be a MOBA. I'm not sure what it's called. They have
Marvel's making a game?
Yeah. Well, it's sponsored by Marvel. I don't know who it's made by exactly, but it's a Marvel game. It has to do with the mutants and stuff like that.
Oh.
everybody.
At least I think it's Marvel. I'll have to double check on that.
I know Marvel is doing one. I mean, DC's already got one as well.
Yeah, I'm hearing someone from the comic book store down the road screaming at me and trying to actually find out. So
next week we might have that if any news pops up.
Exactly.
Or maybe the week after.
It's not out
Who
yet.
knows?
It's not
out yet. So moving on. So apparently there's some pirates over the horizon in the Great Caribbean Sea.
Yo ho, a pirate's life for me.
The franchise that just won't die.
I know. It's because everybody wants to see Johnny Depp as Captain Jack Sparrow.
Captain Jack Sparrow. That is
He
right.
just wants the paycheck.
Exactly.
New Pirates of the Caribbean.
I like
5. No, dead men tell no tales. The dead man tells no tales. Well, obviously, but dead men tell no tales. So not on Stranger Tides. Not on whatever was before that. I forget. Curse. No curses. Just
Curse the Black
As ridiculous
Pearl.
as it got, I'm not even sure where they could go at this point. I mean,
Well,
Apparently-
I mean,
people die. So
yeah. Well, see,
Jack Sparrow goes to Disney World.
well, the release date is now July 7th of 2017. Originally, it was supposed to come out in 2016, but due to actually, first it was 2015, but due to the flop of The Lone Ranger, which was done by the same team, and the Lone Ranger really wasn't that bad. I actually enjoyed it.
I haven't
Never
seen it
watched
yet. Yeah.
It's not bad. You guys should check it out.
I think that's the problem. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. No one cared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't half bad. I mean, nobody cared about it, which was kind of sad.
I haven't heard anything about Transformers either. So I guess it's not good, not bad. So I guess
Yeah.
I've had some people that went and saw it and they enjoyed it. I'm still kind of iffy about the whole Michael Bay thing. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go see it though.
It's just immense
the magical
explosions.
Michael Bay button make everything explode.
But yeah, so because of how much of a flop that was, they pushed it back, and now they pushed it back again. And now because I guess that's when Johnny Depp's schedule is freed up
I
to
don't
be
know.
released. But when they first started filming some scenes, which I assume they might keep, they were in New Orleans, which I'm assuming has to do with a little bit of the history of piracy there in New Orleans.
Right.
Right.
Which would be nice. And they also played with the idea of finishing Will Turner's story because they did hint that his story wasn't over. But
Oh, yeah.
Orlando Bloom has said nothing.
He's like, look, I know I have a kid in the movie, but really, do I have to come back?
Well, Keira
Can we
Knightley.
think of-
Yeah, well, Keira Knightley's not coming back at all. She's done. She's
Oh.
done. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's done.
So they can
But-
just have his son all grown up and
Well,
whatnot.
no, it's not. I don't know exactly what they were planning to do, but they did hint that Will Turner's story is not over. So pretty much it's up to Orlando whether or not that. is put in
So
this
we're
new
talking about a little cameo where somebody dies and Will Turner's like, "Hey, welcome to my locker. Oh, your job's not done yet. Okay, we'll send you back. There you go." That's his cameo. They can't afford much more than that.
I have no idea.
There you go. That's the whole movie. Somebody dies, they come back. There you go.
Oh Lord. They just need to let the
Wow.
series die and let it go.
Hey, I love pirates, so
Then go watch the Blu-ray.
I love pirates.
Pirates.
This is coming from the girl who's still playing Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag.
Actually, just
well
started
over
last week.
over a year. Oh my god!
How
yes.
much more stuff
I picked
can
it up for Wii U.
Basically, the most fun I have is just sailing around. That's all I do. Is I sail.
sail and blow up ships, or
You
just
love
Pretty
sail?
much.
Waker, didn't you?
Yeah.
It's like, we'll just sail, listen to shanties. I could listen to the shanties.
Yeah,
for a
and I
while.
do some
Those are
exploring of
good.
some areas, and I try to blow up the forts, and then I die a horrific death. Though I was very impressed with this one thing I did. I docked on this island, and I turn around, and there's a man of war docked in the lagoon, and I was like, So I, fast traveled back to a shop, got a bunch of poison darts, snuck onto the ship without my boat. I just swam to it because it was just in the lagoon. And so I poison darted everybody on the ship, and they all killed each other. And then once everybody was dead on the ship, I swam back to my ship, and then I went over there and I shot one cannon at it, and then it was added to my fleet. And I was like, not even close to that thing's level, but I was like, I am proud of what I just did. Man, I bragged about it for weeks. I'm still proud of it, and that was
that's
over
funny.
a year ago.
That's actually really funny. I've never actually thought about doing that.
So you
Glitches are
try to do
great.
that. You try to do that and see if you could find that same glitch, because I would be impressed.
I'll have that on film if I can.
Yeah.
Gosh, golly goodness. So one thing I want to add. Tony Stark, or the guy who Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr.
says he'd be actually open to doing an Iron Man 4 as part of a rumor, but he's getting ridiculously expensive at this point. So
He keeps upping his contract. I'm like,
Because he knows he pretty much is Iron Man.
Yeah,
he
I'm
brought
like-
back most of the Marvel movies single-handedly.
Exactly. I'm like, RDJ, calm down, okay? I mean, Disney does have a lot of money, so pretty much they would pay him.
I
definitely.
can't blame him. I mean, he's like, oh, Disney owns Marvel now? Let's get that money rolling in.
Okay, that's a
Yeah.
paycheck. How many zeros can we add?
I mean, essentially, Disney does pretty much hand Marvel a blank check for almost all their movies now.
Pretty much.
So here you go.
Here you
We
go.
have more money than God. Do whatever you want.
Here you go. Have fun with this.
Well, he's played Tony Stark for so long, he wants to actually be Tony Stark now.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Dude, what if he becomes Tony Stark? What if he changes his name to Tony Stark?
I
You
don't.
change it all day long. I don't care.
I think Stan Lee would have a heart attack. That would be very
He'd probably
sad.
find it funny.
He'd probably find it hilarious, yeah. He'd laugh so hard he'd hurt himself.
Great. That's what he said. He'd be like, that's great.
He'd say, Excelsior!
Excelsior, true believer.
True believer.
True believer.
But yes.
So any other movie news?
Movie news?
Yeah.
I want to see Guardians.
Oh, me
So
too.
bad.
Guardians.
What, August
Bad?
1st, isn't
Yep.
it? Oh, so bad.
Bad?
No, I want to see it so badly.
Yeah.
Oh.
It looks fantastic.
It
I
looks
was like,
great.
what do you mean bad?
Because even from the trailers and everything, we've gone back and looked, and all the hints towards it. Every time I'm in a theater and the movie ends and they show the extra scenes, I have to stop, wait, and explain to people what just happened. Because
It's
what
like
was that?
You don't understand.
Who's the purple guy? Thanos. Yeah, and,
The guy with the chin.
By the end of Thor, with the whole scene, where they're bringing over to one of the elders, the collector, I had to explain all that. Then the end of Cap 2, all that stuff.
I'm just glad that I
Yeah.
had that for the longest time, and still now I have friends who have been into the comics and all that for so many years that I can just ask them. Like, I know a lot myself now, but I could be like, what does this mean? But now I can be like, was that? And then they can go, yep. And I'm like, yes.
Yeah, so if you ever go see the movie with me, I will literally stand up at the end of it whenever everyone's done and be like, all right, who wants an explanation? You'd be surprised if people are like, me.
Yeah.
I was just confused at the end of Cap 2, right?
Yep.
Cap 2.
What do you want to know?
I was like, wait a minute. Is it? But Fox owns the huh?
They've already they've explained that one because they're kind of a loophole because both the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver were Avengers even before they were officially X-Men. They were villains of the X-Men, but they were not X-Men until later.
Pretty much they're just biding their time to actually reacquire those rights. I
To a
think.
point. I
To a
mean, but
point.
they found a loophole for that, but they they can't call them mutants because
No.
Fox owns the rights to that.
Right.
So
At
So
some
that's
point,
that's what they called them miracles when they
Yeah.
referred to them.
The twins. They're just the twins.
yeah, at some point
as I
they
said.
will be able to do that.
Though in that, though, as silly as he looked, the Quicksilver from the last X-Men movie actually turned out to be one of the highlights of the whole thing.
I liked him a lot.
That was fantastic.
Do you guys watch American Horror Story?
Nope.
No.
Okay, well, he's in American Horror. He's in American or AHS. He's in that. He plays a very mentally unstable fella.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah.
how wonderful.
Yeah, so check that out if you want to see some more of his work. But yeah, I think that's all in movie news, I want to say.
That'll be in movie news. Next up, we'll talk about Battlefield a little bit, I guess.
Battlefield and Sony.
Battlefield and Sony.
Yeah, we got
Talk
some
about
things from
them.
Sony, some
Right.
important
Yeah.
things.
So the song coming up is Secret of Monkey Island from the Monkey Island capture thing.
Yeah,
Is
it's
that right?
it's a theme from the Lucas Arts game Secret of Monkey Island.
Right, so it's a bit of mood music.
Yeah,
as
it's
you were gonna say.
exactly. It's done by Video Games Live. That's a concert series.
Mm-hmm.
It's a concert series.
It's
so,
a really good concert series.
So there you have it. You were listening to the Nerd Edification Hour on Alternation Radio, and we'll be right back.
All right, and welcome back to the Nerd Edification Hour. I am Jeremy Powers, and once again, we're back with other people.
Other people? Oh, okay, thanks.
Caleb and Rachel.
Oh,
Yes.
There we go.
Yes,
Much
It's all about
better.
me.
that is my name.
It's all about Jeremy.
Yes. All right, so next, I guess we're going to go and bring up the interesting, I guess the last little gasp of the 2011 story from Sony when the PlayStation Network got hacked. They, at the time, had given away, because it was down for quite a while. I remember that whole situation.
Oh, yeah.
Ironically timed right when a couple of their games that required the PlayStation Network to even work for single player those came out and completely shut them down.
What, wasn't it Anonymous that hacked them, though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it was kind of funny, the timing, because that game, some of their shooters came out that required it and were basically useless for people that bought it.
Yeah, and I mean, the only good thing that really came of that hack was, not only the free stuff, but the fact that that hack specifically exposed certain, security issues in PlayStation, actually improved their security a lot.
Yeah, and I had to change all my credit cards, and it was a mess.
See, at that point, I didn't have my credit card on there yet.
Yeah,
so
I did.
That was fortunate for me, and I didn't have any issues. But I also didn't get any of the games because I just wasn't on PSN at the time. So
yes, I was on PSN there, because they gave away the games and so forth. But now, a few years later, the courts have ruled that.
Well, the court hasn't ruled it yet. Sony's just agreed it. Now they have to get a judge to approve it.
Oh, okay, because they had some of the stuff on there that we were doing, but
yeah, basically the claimants have contacted the lawyers for the claimants, and the lawyers for Sony have all been talking and stuff like that and working out what's going on, and now they just have to get a judge to sign the paper.
Gotcha. I mean, pretty much, if you were on PlayStation Network but didn't partake in the free games at the time, that they're giving away particular PSP or PS3 games, or you can get 3 months of PlayStation Plus for free as well.
Oh, interesting.
Right.
So you kind of get to choose between those.
Yeah, your options are a free PS3 or PSP game, some PS3 themes, or 3 free months of PlayStation Plus. Now, I read earlier on an additional thing on IGN that you already have to be part of PlayStation Plus to get those additional three months. So it will be added onto your PlayStation Plus subscription.
Well, I still find it funny they actually think that a glorified wallpaper makes up for credit card theft.
Yeah. And then
here's a fancy new wallpaper. Please forgive us.
Well, I guess it's basically for people who don't have enough space on their PS3 or PSP to download those things. Like you can. What I don't think most people realize is you can hit download. You can stop the download, and it will forever be in your purchases.
I've done that with some 360 games recently.
I've done that on literally every free game for PlayStation Plus.
Huh.
Because I've only downloaded, and I'll download them later or something when I have enough room or time. But basically, those claims are only a first come first served basis. So once Sony has given out 6 million. Game
only
themes,
6 million.
Yeah,
6
subs
million?
to those folks, the deal's done. So pretty much, if you want to get up on this, if you didn't get a free game, etc., you're gonna have to fill out some form. They'll send you one, and then you send it back.
Sign a fancy piece of paper.
I think postage is paid for by Sony. I think. If you did get a free game, though, from the Welcome Back campaign, you can choose one of the above options. You could choose one of the above options, game, theme, or 3 months of PS Plus instead of 2. So originally, if you didn't get one, you get a game and a theme or PlayStation Plus stuff. If you got a game, you get a game. You get a game or 3 months or a theme. So that's kind of cool. But basically, that offer's also capped, with the same 1 month PS Plus deal available for anyone missing out. So basically everyone's going to get a free month regardless.
So there you go.
Nice.
And anyone
Free.
with an active account who lost unused PlayStation Store credits will, if their balance was above $2, is going to get their money back. If you were a Netflix or Hulu Plus subscriber, you're going to get who couldn't access your account at that time, you get another free 3 months. So you can get you can get a maximum of 6 months free and stuff. And anyone who is able to prove that they had their identity stolen as a result of the hacks that caused the downtime is eligible for up to $2,500.
Wow.
Which is nice.
Nice.
So basically, they just need to get the thing signed.
They're
So
they're
there you
just
go.
trying to get this thing over with and buried.
Yeah,
Sony wants
they're-
it to go away so bad.
Yeah, they're done. They're just like, we got the PS4 out now. We don't need to deal with this thing anymore.
It's like, look, here's free stuff. Forget about it. Okay. Look, see, candy. See, look.
Yeah, here, take this and leave us
Look, a
alone.
shiny object over there.
Exactly. And speaking of Sony, there's a kind of a rumor going around with there was a new firmware update that improved the stability of the PS4, but there's supposedly a big update that's going to happen in the near future that will add a media playback feature and some other new stuff. And this is coming from an insider on Twitter named Tydex, whose all other release things about secret stuff coming out has been correct. His track record is very good.
So basically, we're announcing they're finally trying to work towards parity on the system they've had out for the last 8 years.
So, I don't know. But, like, and people have asked when is soon, before Gamescom, and then, which is another convention that's
Right.
coming up. He said around that time frame. And, like, they reached out to some people at PlayStation and stuff, and a representative, and they asked about more news on the firmware update is going to come soon. And someone says, hopefully this means 3D and MP3 support. So he just said, just wait and see. So they're not really saying yes, they're not saying no, but, you know, if this did allow media playback, this could be a really big kind of turnover thing in comparison to the Xbox One, who does not allow that right now.
Well, I know that they just did the Xbox One update where you can do the 3D Blu-ray, so they've already gotten
Yeah,
that
they
back
got
up.
that one done, but as of right now, the media playback is...
I still find it funny, not a single one of the new generation systems, Wii U, Xbox One, or PS4, can actually play a music CD.
Yeah.
A simple music CD will not work. It doesn't even recognize it.
But once again, they're gonna try.
What is this? What did you put in me? I don't understand.
They're gonna try. And
It's just-
do you want to say the last bit of news?
Sure, we'll just move on to the last bit of news. What
Okay.
is it?
Battlefield.
Battlefield. So I'm not much of a Battlefield person, but it says here that the Battlefield Hardline, which is about cops and such, is delayed till 2015 because they want to take it and they want to make it nice and not buggy and working like a proper game, unlike Battlefield 4 was,
Which still doesn't work
It still
properly.
doesn't
which
work.
still doesn't work.
Because I actually got in on the beta when they first announced it for Hardline, and I played it for a while. And the response I put up on Twitter, some people got kind of offended, but I was like, well, that was the biggest waste of hard drive space on my PS4 I've done so far.
Yeah, it was just people said, you know, it needs a lot of improvement. So the developers
yes.
were like, you know what? Well, we can push it back and we can improve it for you guys. So that's what they're doing. So be glad that they're
Yeah.
doing that. Be glad. Don't be mad. Be glad.
Don't get mad, get glad.
But yeah, they're delaying it till 2015. I don't think they have an actual core release
Copyright.
date whatsoever, but they said 2015. So I'm guessing early 2015, which would be good because they're gonna.
Just 2015, whatever that is.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's going to be spring, maybe February. But they did say that they're going to continue to improve Battlefield 4 as well. They're not going to totally abandon it. They're looking at releasing new content, including Dragon's Teeth, the 4th expansion pack, which is coming on Tuesday. And then Final Stand is coming later in the year. So they're going to have some extra stuff coming soon as well.
Nice.
So there you go for you Battlefield fans. You know, you got some stuff to look forward to, I guess, if you want to be a cop. If you've always dreamed about that, you know. There's that. So Jeremy and Rachel, also you've been playing Destiny, right? The beta.
Yes.
And there are no wizards coming from the moon, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah, they took
Yeah,
out that
there's
line.
yeah.
The line.
They
was
took
a
out the
good
line and they kind of added a digitizer to his voice a little bit. Wanted to make him sound more like a machine than a
And
person.
His
Right.
lines have much improved too, and just the way he talks in general, because it was
Yeah.
really bland in the alpha.
It was kind of funny for a lot of it.
Yeah, but literally everyone and their mom is in the game, voice acting wise. Nathan Fillion's in it.
Really?
Yeah, he
Really?
plays the
Yeah.
kind of android-looking guy. That's if you are at the table, there's the wizard chick, the hunter, and
Oh,
then the
yeah.
titan. The robot one, who's the hunter,
Mm-hmm.
that's Nathan Fillion. The wizard lady with the bald head, that
Yeah.
is the African American woman from Firefly. So there's 2 Firefly people in there.
So that's where most of the money is going
Yeah.
on voice actors, apparently, because
Well, I mean,
so
they're
many.
picking good ones, and that's fine.
And you know, I kind of expected, you know, well, after I heard Nathan Fillion, I was just like, he would do this because this is very Firefly-esque.
Yeah. But I mean, we were playing. We played so far. The PS4 one came out first for the beta,
So
I
good.
played through that for a while, and then the Xbox One one released just the other day.
Or was it Tuesday?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
all the systems actually, 360, PS3. But we've played the PS4 and the Xbox One version. The Xbox One is having a really weird glitch though, where if you are in the game and you snap in party chat and try and talk to people, it'll actually stick where you have to keep it open. So half the game we had to play with the window shrunk down. I mean, a lot of that's going to go away in the main game. I just thought it was kind of funny. We ended up spending most of yesterday playing it. We actually ended up filming it too. We're going to put it up on YouTube. But we managed to break out of the world and make our way around the outside of the map
Nice.
for most of the way around the world. So
Oh,
we
that's
found
awesome.
a bunch of really cool glitches, and it even shows how we did it. So
I've actually done that with WildStar, actually. I got out of the world, and, like, there's literally nothing. There's no plants, but there's still it was in like the ice part of the world or whatever.
Well, for part of it, yeah, we had managed to get.
But there's still like ice. Like somebody made that, and I'm like, who would see this? Like, who would see this rock? Yet they put this rock here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
still stuff outside of the map.
You know, in
which
some
is
of the maps
confusing.
on there, that it goes to a cliff, it drops
Yeah, and
down.
it just drops off.
Well, where that water level is, it's empty underneath there.
It's empty underneath,
And the
yeah.
water goes under. So well, we glitch down. We'll actually land on our bikes. You can ride on that water, so we can run around the inside of the level. And there's we just made our way around the entire map.
That's really cool.
and
like,
just every challenge we can think of, we were like, well, we can't go any further. Oh, but wait.
Oh, but wait till we can.
when I played the beta on the PS4, like I didn't think I was going to because I hate first-person shooters, but I actually am really enjoying this. I'm actually very surprised at myself, and I'm not like awesome like the online matches, the Crucible matches. I'm totally terrible at. I'm not quick enough on the draw, and I die all the time. So when people realize that, they seek me out and they kill me and they milk me for points. So it's really really sad.
It's like here's
But
this noob right here.
the main storyline
Easy
missions I am awesome at. Like you get me one of those like grenade things that the wizard character things throw. I'm good. I kill them all. It's like me with a gravity hammer playing Halo.
Boom.
Watch out. But like I reached the level cap, which was 8 on like day 2.
8.
Yeah. And they're
That's
pretty
literally
yeah,
level
they're
cap.
pretty,
it comes up in the message. This is as far as you can go. You know.
Oh,
and you
how
can
wonderful.
you could still level up some of your powers beyond that, but it's the leveling up of the powers you've already earned, which is what I expected. But
Right.
it's actually a really good game, and the character design is really nice. The hair is fabulous.
Hair physics. That's also where the
Hair's
money went, right
ridiculous.
there.
Yeah, but it's really good, and even for someone who's not really who doesn't really like first person shooters, I'm having a huge fun with it.
It's a really good mix between like Halo and Borderlands, I think, in a lot of
Yes,
it.
I agree.
Because you've got the loot and the way a lot of the weapons are and the way you interact with people in multiplayer, but it still has a lot of the physics and feeling from that. And then they also threw in speeder bikes from Star Wars, almost sound effects and everything.
And I really enjoyed some of the glitches that I've found personally, or just some of the interesting things that I've found. First off, if you're in the tower, you could play Duck Duck Goose with people. By the way,
I
you
heard
just sit
about
down.
that.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And if you can get this ball down that's near the encryptor guy, you can get the down, you can kick it around. If you can get on top of the kind of tent thing where the message, where the post office sort of thing is, or if you can get on top of there and stand on top of the fan, you can have somebody else run around to the other side on top of the ledge that's directly behind it and face you, and it'll prompt you to turn on fan, and you could shoot them up in the air. You can also stand on top of the little spires that come out of the tower, and you could just have a dance party out there.
Yeah, we're just trying to find as many places we can break out of the map. It's been hilarious.
And if someone on your screen sees like a ship coming in, you can actually try to jump on the ship, but you'll go right through it.
Huh.
You can't land on it or anything. Another funny thing that has happened, sometimes when you shoot an enemy or an enemy player, if you're on the Crucible match, and this is what I've seen. I was doing one of the Hive missions in the very middle of the map that's really hard to do unless you have someone else on your strike team. I killed this vandal, and all of a sudden he starts floating up to up into the air, and just flies off into space. And he hears me on my mic just dying, and I said, "Look at it! It's just going off!" And just basically, he's like, "I don't see it, Rachel." So I took a screen cap of it, and then I sent it to him, and he's like, "Oh my god!"
So that's when you go back and you just tell it to save a clip, and it'll save the last little while. So you
And
can
I
just
did,
watch
but
it.
my PlayStation was like, nah, because I wasn't connected to Facebook properly at the time, so it didn't let me.
Oh, heaven
If you
forbid.
record it, you have to almost share it immediately, just because that's how it was set up. I don't know.
That's weird, because mine I can record, and then I just go back in. I have a list of the previous recordings. I just tell it I want to save this one permanently, and that's it.
It wouldn't let me save. It was weird. I haven't figured it all out yet.
It's broken.
Yeah, I wouldn't. It wouldn't. Yeah, but
Well,
anyway, so that
it
was
is
the
the
cool
beta,
stuff.
so.
It was really cool, and I thought I'd share that with you guys. Since I don't want to end on a sad note, I'm going to leave the Studio Ghibli news for when I get back from LeakyCon.
That's right. Yeah, we'll have that. Rachel's going to be gone next week, so
We might hear more about it between now and then, anyways. 'cause
Yeah,
they're still
exactly.
talking about it.
we'll have an update on that. So there you have it. News from the Destiny beta, and I seem to have put the music in the
it.
wrong order. So when it comes to PC, I will. Let's see. So yeah, I know, right? So anyways, we have Sanctuary opening, which apparently I just remembered it has words in it, and I was supposed to play the Monkey Island. But who cares? We're going to do that for the last part, and that's it.
fine.
That'll be it for this
It
show.
happens.
Thank you for listening. Stay fancy till next week, and you are listening to you're done listening to the Nerd Edification Hour on Alternation Radio.
Keep calm and game on.
Peace.